Welcome back, everyone. Right now, a special visit with former LSU star running back Justin Vincent. In this interview, Vincent talks about his big games against Georgia in the SEC Championship and then against Oklahoma in the BCS National Championship as LSU won it all in 2003. Then that crazy Christmas in 2004 when Nick Saban decided to leave LSU for the Miami Dolphins. Some very interesting stories there. We hope you enjoy.
It's pretty amazing looking at that season. You know, for example, the Georgia game, the legendary Georgia win in Tiger Stadium, Skylar Green touchdown reception from Matt Mauck. You didn't even get a carry in that game, did you?
No, I just had a tackle on special teams. I think it was Orlando Gunn. I think might have been the punt returner at the time. I almost made him fumble, but no, I didn't get one carry in that game, not whatsoever, not even a snap.
So you're the MVP of the SEC Championship game. Justin Vincent, when you break it for an 87-yard run, tell me about the rush. Tell me about the exhilaration of doing something like that.
You know, we show up there on Friday, and Coach Saban takes us to the dome, and we do like a little walkthrough like we would normally do here in our indoor facility before we head to the hotel. So we came there, we got dressed, we did the walkthrough, and we kind of just talking. And I never forget, me and Skylar, who ran track against each other all 4 years of high school, I'm sitting there and we're talking. He's like, man, this is the first time we actually played on that new turf indoors, because whether people believe it or not, there's a different bounce to it indoors and outdoors. With the weather and all the other stuff, the heat, it's a different bounce. And I told Skylar, I was like, man, I said, dude, if I get loose, I don't think anybody will catch me. He's like, hell, me too. And so we get out there, and my favorite play at the time was horn boss. And so it was a kind of a weird play. It's not your typical toss play because we pull the center, what Ben would pull. And most centers do not pull on toss plays. And so David Jones in the backfield. Michael Clayton is, I think, in the slot, and Devery's out wide. And Mike hikes the ball. Mike goes across, Ben pulls, and the corner's out there one-on-one. David Jones has him. And so David sets inside, kind of kicks him out, and I just saw Derek Dooley. And I was like, if I can get to Derek, I'll have an opportunity. So I'm running as fast as I can. Like I catch it, and probably about my third step, I'm in full stride. I'm gassing it. I'm like, if I don't score, I'm definitely getting the 20 or 30. So I gas it. At the corner of my eye, I see Sean Jones coming. And I'm like, dang, he's probably gonna knock me out of bounds. Well, I was like, well, I'm gonna try to dig a little bit more. So I'm going about as high as I can go. It's probably the fastest I ever ran in my life. He reaches, and I just kind of put my arm out to kind of brush it. And I thought he was gonna horse collar me, and I kind of stumbled a little bit. But then I look up, and all I seen was the end zone. So I was like, hey, just hit it and get it. If you get caught, you get caught. At least you gave value and effort.
I know you had the first run of the game in the national championship, but is that your run? If you look back at your LSU career, is that the run that you would pick?
Yeah, I think so. It's definitely in the top one or two for sure. It was just one of those deals how we kind of, I don't want to say I called it, but we talked about it, like, hey, if you get loose, yeah, I'm gonna make it hard as hell for somebody to come catch me. So, and being on that stage and having so much on the line, all we had to do was win, and we would definitely have an opportunity to play in the national championship game. So, you know, I think the juices were flowing a little bit more. And actually, I would actually take my second long run in that game too and kind of compare it as well. I didn't score, but a whole lot went on prior to that because that should have been tackled for a 5-yard loss.
Yeah, 201 yards. So
that record actually held for, I think, almost 13 years, and then Auburn goes up there and decided to give Trey Mason the ball 40 times, and he blew it out of the water. But I still have the longest run. That's my claim to fame.
So 87 is still the longest.
Yeah, that's still the longest, but the yards are broken.
How many carries did you have?
Like 18 or something like that.
Okay, so he's doubled you in carries.
Yeah.
So first play of the game, it's just a simple handoff, huh?
Yeah, it's I think it was power, one back power. You know, we had the receivers on this side, Devery and Mike, and I think Eric Edwards was on the left, and the corner, Derek Strait, who caught me, he didn't they just bumped the backer out on the slot receiver. They didn't do corners over. So he stayed there. And when Eric came off the ball and blocked, I think Cody, the defensive end, and he saw me running, all he did was shuffle his feet and take off running. Like, he never had anybody touch him, just distort his view of me. He literally put his head down and took off running and tried to catch me. You know, I get a lot of flack about that, and I tell people all the time, you know, yeah, I got caught, but if we lost, it would have some kind of substance. But we didn't. We won. Plus, he had to dive to catch me.
So what's the feeling? You're a national champion as a true freshman. This is too good to be true, right?
Yeah, it's too good to be true, man. You know, I'm walking around, you know, shaking hands with people, you know, taking pictures with some of my teammates, and they set the stage up for everybody to go up there. My mind was so far gone. Like, I was excited then, you were at ease. The game's over, season's over, you won. This is what you fight for every year. And they had to, like, call me to come up there, because I was literally just running around like I didn't care. And you get up there, and I didn't even know I won the MVP. And, you know, I thought what happened in Georgia, nothing could top that for me. And then to have that happen in New Orleans, basically a home game for us, and the crowd and everything that goes along with that, it was probably one of the better moments in my life. You talk about it all the time, and then you see fans from all aspects of life, people who've been season ticket holders, you know, since 1958, you know, their family has been generational stuff passed down. And they talked about, you know, what it meant. You know, I had somebody tell me one time that was the last game that he went to with his dad before his dad passed away. So it was just so much emotion tied to that, and have it happen in New Orleans just like it did this past year. You know, nothing will ever beat that. Nothing can top that. You know, people outside of Louisiana can moan and groan about it being unfair for us to play, but that's where it fell. You know, we're not controllers of the CFPs. We don't control that, you know. You know, the game is somewhere different every year, but it just so happens when it falls in New Orleans, we always have an opportunity to play.
It's been, because I remember, you know, if we could just make it there once, right? Make it the championship one time, and just think if it be in New Orleans, how awesome that would be. The fact that it's happened 4 times since 2003, it's happened, I guess, 5 times altogether. Now LSU's won 4.
Yeah.
It's
That's pretty special, man. That speaks volumes. I think the football guys are looking down upon LSU football when it comes to us being a complete team and doing things the right way and kind of peaking at the right times to have an opportunity to even fight for one, let alone be in it.
Well, Justin, it's a good thing you weren't a junior that year, right? Because Nick would have come up to you and said, "Justin, are you coming back next year or what?"
Yeah. Yeah, my mom would have made me come back. It'd have been, that would have been, I'd have been back.
Do you have any memories of, because Matt Mock and Michael Clayton both talk about, you know, 15 minutes after the game, Saban didn't say a good game, didn't say anything, just, hey, you guys come back next year for your senior.
Yeah. He basically took us in the locker room and said his normal, you know, you did what you're supposed to do and all this good stuff. Basically everything that you see him say on TV today, he just said it in purple and gold instead of the crimson. He is literally the same person. So he said that stuff and we celebrated, and then me and Matt went back out to talk with ESPN and following those guys. And me and him were the last people to leave the dome. Like, we had to get an escort back, get back to the hotel. It was late. There was thousands of people out there. Like, the game was a daytime game. Like, I mean, there was just so many people. It was just one of those moments that you'll never forget. And I think about it, you know, quite often, because I'm obviously I still work at LSU. With people who don't know, I'm still here. So I see the pictures all the time. You know, I'm at football ops 3 or 4 days a week. You know, you kind of embrace yourself in it, and it's become a part of my everyday life. You know, you see the accomplishments of your teammates and yourself and what you've done to bring a championship to Louisiana State University.
Do you remember when Nick Saban was leaving?
Yeah, I remember it vividly, because my grandfather, my mom's dad, had actually passed away around Christmas time. We were home for Christmas. and we were supposed to leave either the day of Christmas or the day after. So I ended up staying home because my grandfather passed, and I was going to meet them like a day later in Orlando. And so I'm at home sitting on the couch watching the press conference. Like, you know, when the head coaches get there, they do a conference, talk about all the stuff. And he literally said, now, mind you this, before we left Baton Rouge, he said he wasn't going anywhere. He told the team in the team meeting room before he left Baton Rouge he wasn't going anywhere. So then goes home for a couple of days, spends time with his family at Christmas, flies to Orlando with the team. Team goes to the hotel. He goes to do the interview and tells the world that he's taking the Miami Dolphins job. That whole week, and anybody who could tell you was on that team, that whole week of practice was a lost cause.
You guys were not engaged in what?
Listen, people were talking crazy to coaches. It was just, it was one of them things where you were like, damn, is there a hidden camera somewhere? Like if somebody would come out and say this, like this is a joke, like people just didn't care because they felt lied to, which they were. You know, I tell people all the time, I personally have no hard feelings for Nick whatsoever.
Look, I'm an LSU Tiger. I mean, I probably will be forever. So I want to see this program continue to be successful.
I just don't like the way he did it, but I don't have any hard feelings as far as because he left. You know, when people get mad, they're like, oh, Nick Saban, this and that and that. I'm like, dude, if anybody should be mad, it should be me and the people who are on the team because he told us he wasn't going anywhere to our face. I don't care what he tells y'all standing in front of a camera.
We're not talking today. I should be able to come to work and leave without having all this stuff.
Can you say something to even LSU fans or that are patiently waiting or anything?
Well, you know, we just love the Tigers. We're going to get ready to play the ball game.
When do you think you'll have a decision, Nick?
No timetable.
Thank you.
But if you behind closed doors and you tell people you're not going anywhere and then you end up exiting stage left, that's, I mean, I don't know how you want people to respect that.
You know what your husband's going to do, Terry?
Yeah, I remember Christmas Day. It was Christmas Day, cold day.
Orlando, Florida, we go and meet Mickey. Have us a good time.
We were all outside the building. Coach, are you going anywhere?
Good decision, Coach.
Well, I'm going to talk to the team at 6:45 today. I think that's what they told you, didn't they?
And I'm like, dang, this man just literally just told us he wasn't going anywhere like a couple of days ago. And he's not. So when I show up to Orlando, get to the airport, they pick me up, go to the hotel, check in, have a meeting, go to practice, and it was just like a circus.
We give you the Tigers today, their last outing at SeaWorld, feeding of all things, dolphins.
AKA Little Saban's kids. You know, you're feeding the Dolphins, your coach going to the Dolphins. How you feel about that, Trav?
Well, I guess I don't really know how I feel about it.
You know, people don't know if we can handle all this stuff that's been going on and still, you know, play good in this game. And that's another challenge that we're ready to take care of. And that's going to be our approach, and that's how we're going to approach this game.
It was okay with me. The team thought it was okay because, you know, he always talk about challenges. What's the next step? And he want us to make the next step. We're going to have to make a decision like that, too, one day.
People were just doing whatever, however, saying whatever. Like, it was just crazy.
So it's like if Jimbo would tell you, hey, Justin, make that block, or you ran the wrong way.
You come make the block. Yeah, it was one of those practices.
People were talking back to Nick Saban at practice.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Like after the game, obviously we ended up losing. Drew Tate threw a ball. Ronnie Prude, again, his name comes up because we joke about him when like me and Joseph died and Benny Brazil, we kill him on this all the time till to this day. He runs out on the field. I think there's like 10 seconds left, whatever, and plays zone. Dude runs right by. I'll never forgive him for that.
We got video of him charging up to Ronnie on the field after the game, and I talked to Ronnie about it because there was some talk that Ronnie told him off, like, you know, screw you or whatever. Ronnie said he did not.
No, he didn't. No.
On the last play of the game, we made a mistake.
1 second in the course of a game could change the whole face of it, and this was a perfect example of that.
and we made a mental error. That's it.
You know, we put ourselves in position to win the game, and then they took it away from us.
To lose like that, it was just a hurting feeling. I really didn't want to come off the field because knowing we gave our best effort and we came up short.
Mental errors are a terrible way to lose, because that means the other guys didn't really physically beat you. You really kind of beat yourself.
But I will say this, at the locker room after the game, they were going around shaking hands, like Jews were at their locker just with their heads down. You know, it was just a weird experience to see it all unfold the way it did. And, you know, he come in there and shake hands like nobody was, like it was just a normal game. You know, coaches after the game be like, come on, a good game, this and that. No, he was going around doing that stuff. Like, and it wasn't the time to be doing that.
We wanted to win this game for these players. And I really feel badly that there wasn't something I could do, say, get done, coach, teach, whatever, that would have enabled us to do that. You know, this has probably been the greatest experience that I've ever had as a coach, the 5 years that I've spent at LSU. You know, you can call them golden years or whatever for me. I hope that they were good years for everyone else. There's a bright future here, very bright. And it's not easy to walk away from it, to be honest with you, because we spent a lot of blood, sweat, and tears building it.
So you're a Saban fan, though? You don't have any?
No. Yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy.
Thanks so much for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe to our WAFB YouTube page so we can continue to grow this content. We'll see you later.